Hey guys, it's Goosebumps Completionist, and today I'm bringing you another book versus episode video. This time we'll be discussing Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns, book versus episode. I gave the book a 4.3 out of 5, and I gave the episode a 4.4 out of 5. Pretty solid story all in all, episode or book, either way you go. I think it's very good, above average. I don't think it's excellent or an A tier by any means story. But I do feel that there's enough substance there to have something memorable and something to enjoy. And I recommend both off the bat. If you have never read or watched the episode, I would recommend doing so. But in this video, I'm just going to compare the two and see which one I find superior. The points are very close on this one, so this one might be closer than other book versus episodes I have done in the past. And it might be my first deadlock. I don't know. I haven't really decided it yet. But let's start off by doing some comparisons. I'll be going over characters, which version did I think did it better for the characters, the plot structure, the climax, the resolution or the ending, as well as setting and all of that fun stuff. So let's start off with the characters. Let's start off with the main character, Drew. Which version did I think do Drew better justice? I'm going to have to give it to the book, only because I think Drew's motives are better defined in the book than the episode. If the episode had the motives laid out a little bit, you know, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes of it, in the episode that didn't like take too much away, like the book had with the exposition and the flashbacks being so long, I think I would probably put them deadlocked or maybe even give it to the episode. But I'm going to have to give it to the book here for Drew. I think, you know, Drew's better developed in the book. Walker, I'm also going to give to the book. Walker's kind of set up differently from the book in the episode. In the episode, for example, he just feels like he doesn't know what's going on. He's not friends with Shane and Shauna like the book, so he doesn't really know them. I feel like there's a sense of uncertainty with the character in the episode as in the book. I think he's more normal. I think he's more grounded. He's not the most out there character by any means. I'm not trying to like boist up Walker because he's really not that integral compared to like Drew or Shane and Shauna to the story. He's pretty much the supporting character of the book, but I definitely think the book did him better than the episode. Now, Shane and Shauna, who are the twins that Drew and Walker are friends with in the book, and in the episode, Shane and Shauna are friends that moved away a couple years ago, and Drew's new friend Walker meets him for the first time. I think I'm going to give Shane and Shauna a deadlock here, only because Shane and Shauna's main role in the story is kind of planning the prank to get back at Tabby and Lee, who I haven't gotten to yet. But I think they're pretty even there. I think Shane and Shauna was well done in both versions of the story, either way you go. So really nothing to compare there. Now, Tabby, I think I'm going to give to the episode. I think Tabby is a better character in the episode. I think the actress who played her highlighted her meanness a little bit better. In the book, she just comes off kind of snobby and stuff, but I think the actress, I'm not trying to boast her up because she's not the greatest actor by any means, but I think the actress knew the character and it kind of added a little bit more depth to Tabby, it felt, coming across the episode than the book. So I'm going to give the edge to Tabby in the episode. Now, Lee, I'm definitely going to give this to the book. I think Lee was definitely expanded on way better in the book than the episode. The episode, he's like this like tubby little short kid that is just a little toady to, you know, Tabby. As in the book, he comes off a little more mean. He has a little more backbone to him. He plays a bigger predominant role in the book than the episode, at least how it comes across. So I'm definitely going to give the edge to Lee there. I guess we'll go with Drew's parents here. I didn't really bring them up because they're really not all that important. Drew's parents are basically, their main role is to alert Drew about these missing people that have gone missing and that they're nervous about Drew and Walker and her friends going out trick-or-treating on Halloween. Because of it, I think I'm going to give them a deadlock here. Parents seem fine. The possibly the nicest feeling parents I've ever watched in the episode, by the way, in all of the episodes. I think this is one of the nicer parent depictions, maybe next to like Carly Beth's mom or something. But yeah, I'm going to give them a deadlock here. Now let's get into the jack-o'-lanterns. The jack-o'-lanterns, Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns. Which one did it better for the jack-o'-lanterns? Which felt more ominous? Which felt more threatening? Honestly, I'm going to give the jack-o'-lanterns a dead tie here. I think the episode did a lot of respect to the book, and I think, to give credit where credit's due, the practical effects team that worked on this episode, and William Fruitt for directing the episode, did an amazing job for what they could work with. They couldn't spit the fire out of their mouths or anything like that. Nothing too crazy without it coming off looking too cheesy. But I think they're pretty much dead even here as well. I can't really decide which one is better, honestly. Now, plot structure, giving you kind of a preface before we get into this. This is one of the rare situations in the TV show and book history, because for those of you that don't know, the TV show at one point was coming out while the books in the original 62 were still being released. This was one situation where the episode and the book released the same month in the same year. So the episode obviously was developed before the book. And at one point, I think the episode was even called Night of the Jack-o'-lanterns instead of Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns. That's because they got the rough draft so early in advance, they were able to work on it before the book was able to be actually written and finished. So there are some differences here. Plot structure, some notable things. Walker doesn't know Shane and Shauna. Shane and Shauna have moved away. They don't still live in the town where Drew and Walker and all the rest of the characters live. Another change is kind of little subtle things, physical features about the characters. There's kind of weird changes made from the episode in the book. I don't really think it's important to get into that, but there are some changes there. Also, the flashbacks in the beginning of the story, there's 38 pages of flashback in this 113-page book, flashback and daydreams. And this, there are some similarities, except they changed it to like nightmares instead of daydreams, and they cut out the flashback part. It's definitely a condensed version to the book. So for plot, there are some differences in the episode that kind of give it an edge, but not by much. So by a very thin margin, I think I prefer the episode's plot structure a little more because it cuts out a lot of the filler. I think that's why I appreciate it, but not by much. Like I said, there are some problems inherent with the story, especially the meat of the story in the third part of the book that we saw majority of the episode. There's just not enough elaboration there to kind of fix it for me, but I'll give the slight edge to the episode. Now, setting, I'm going to have to give it to the book. I know the episode went for it, and I appreciate what the episode tried to do and capture that Halloween spirit. But I definitely think the book just excels in capturing that setting and that atmosphere. And I'll say this in much respect to Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns as a book. I think it's the best book that captures Halloween. I think it just captures it the best. And I don't think it's the best Halloween book by any means, but I definitely think it captures Halloween the best. You know what I mean? It's just something to hang their hat on, and I have to give it to the book for the setting. It's just pretty well done. I think it takes you to that place a little bit better than the episode. Now, let's get into the climax, like the big event, the scariness of the episode, the story, the book, and the episode. Honestly, I'll give it a dead even tie here. It basically is the same thing. The episode does add a little bit near the end, but I'm not going to get into that just yet. But other than that, they're basically dead even. It's not really rushed, it's just very flat feeling in this part of the story, both ways you go. So nothing really feels all that spectacular, so I'm just going to give it dead even on that. Basically the same climax in a nutshell. Tabby and Lee get their comeuppance, and basically, the twist happens. Which brings me to the end, the twist. Now, this is one of those stories where both execute the double twist. Now, the double twist goes into two parts. It reveals who the jack-o'-lanterns are, who may or may not be behind the jack-o'-lanterns, and it reveals something about these missing people that Drew's parents were so worried about. Honestly, I'm going to have to give the end to the episode. I think the episode had the better ending. I think it added more than the book had, and it's more memorable, and it's more shocking even though it's kind of, it hasn't really aged well. Like, some practical effects in the show haven't aged well. Let's just say, in the twist of the episode, the effect style they went with the reveal, I don't think has the greatest impact, especially as it's grown older and it's aged a little bit. I don't think it's the best, but I definitely think that it offers a better ending than the book. So, overall, the two versions here, the book and the episode, have tied so much, and they're so close in the rating. This might be the first time I'm doing this, but I'm going to put Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns deadlocked. I think the book and the episode are pretty much dead even though I think the episode is just a hair bit better than the book. I just think that they're so close in so many things, it's hard to really say the episode is better or the book is better. I just think they're pretty dead even. Either way you go, I think you're going to have a fun time. You're going to get that Halloween atmosphere. You're going to get that nostalgia kicking in, and you're going to have a good time watching Goosebumps or reading Goosebumps. It is a book franchise. I do recommend that you read the book before you watch the episode. I always do say that because I think that's generally how you should do it, but in case that you decide not to even read the book and you just want to watch the episode, by all means do it. It's pretty much dead even. You don't even need to read the book. So yeah, that's Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns, book versus episode. I think they're dead even, and both are basically equally superior to each other. So yeah, let me know in the comments section if you have read or watched Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns. Did you love this or did you hate this? Dying to know. And I'll see you next time. And also, which one do you think is better? See you later.